Hello, hello, hello. I'm not sure if I'll have anybody to come in today. Hopefully I'll have a few of you that will come online with me. I got something I want to talk to you about just for a minute. Hello, ladies. Hello. I wonder if I have anybody join me. If you're available and you're out there and you see me, you got my notification. If you can come on in for a minute. I'm not going to be with you very long. Just want to share something with you really, really quickly. Hello, come on in, come on in. If you're out there and you can hear me, you see my live notification, come on in, come on in. I got something really good to talk to you about just for a few moments. I'm going to wait for a few more minutes and I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm on my, sort of on a short lunch break, and I wanted to share something with you though. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and get started. For some of you all, hopefully you'll listen to this later. But I wanted to share something with you really, really quickly. My title for this video is Help, My Emotions Are Out of Whack. And I wanted to talk just for a few minutes about our emotional state and how our emotions play a huge part. And please forgive me for moving around a lot. I don't have my phone localized, so I'm holding my phone at this present moment. So please forgive me if there's a lot of shaking. But help, my emotions are out of whack. Have you know that a lot of us as ladies, or a lot of us, our emotions get out of whack at different periods and times in our life. Our emotions get out of whack during our menstrual cycle, prior to our menstrual cycle, while we're on the menstrual cycle, many times after the menstrual cycle. Our emotions are out of whack. Our emotions drive a lot of who or how we act, how we respond with our family. It could be a day where you are perfectly fine and all of a sudden somebody says something or does something and boy, your emotions are out there. You have flared off at the mouth, you've gotten angry, you've said something, you've blown your top, blown your, just blown it for that day. That's a key that your emotions are out of control and you have not safeguarded your emotions to the degree that your emotions are not taking over you, not taking control. So again, I apologize for all the movement. But it is important that we get control of our emotions. Our emotions are critical to us relating to our husbands. Our emotions are critical as it relates to us being in a relationship with our husbands. It is critical in how we respond to our husbands. It's critical how we respond to our children. It's critical how we relate to our co-workers. In every aspect of our life, our emotions are very, very, very important. What I'm finding though is that there are a lot of women who are dealing with their emotional state and are allowing their emotions to completely shut them down as it relates to their husbands. How do you know that if you are emotionally, you can be emotionally disconnected from your husband? That means that if I'm emotionally disconnected, I don't have a feeling, I don't feel like talking to him, I don't feel like being close to him, I don't feel like being intimate with him, I don't feel like I want to be around my husband. Emotions and your emotions being out of whack are a critical component to why many women are not sexually active as they want to be with their husbands. I have heard many women say, you know, I really love my husband. I just don't feel it. I just don't feel it. I just feel like something's going on with me. I feel like I'm not connected to him. I don't feel like, I just don't have that feeling to want to do anything or be with him. You know, when he cuddles up to me, I kind of shrub him off because I'm not feeling it. I just don't feel it, but I love him and I can't understand why. Many times your emotions are driving that. Your emotions are driving that. Number one, if you are angry or you've had some anger or some sense of breakdown that you are harboring that you've not dealt with, you've not gotten over, it'll shut you down. If you are unforgiving, you have some unforgiveness in your heart, it'll shut down you emotionally with your husband. If there's an argument or something that you guys have had that you did not resolve, you did not come to a solution, you did not come to a place to solve it, then you can be shut down emotionally. How many of you know that your emotional state will absolutely shut down every part of your body? Absolutely. I'm going to say it again. Your emotional state will shut down every part of your body. There are times, ladies, and you know this for yourself, that when you are emotionally there, your mind is there, your heart is there, your spirit is there, you are intimate with your husband, the sexual experience is wonderful. But when you are not there emotionally, you're emotionally disconnected. Your mind is somewhere else. Your thoughts are driving off somewhere else. You're upset about something. It shuts down everything as it relates to your body. Your body cannot respond when your mind is not connected. So if I am emotionally out of control, I've got to learn how to bring my emotions into control. I've got to learn how to guard my own emotions. How do I guard my emotions? I guard my emotions by the things that I think about. I cannot allow myself to think about things that's going to draw me off into areas I don't need to be. Your thoughts are so important because what you think about, eventually you begin to see. And what you see, you begin to say. And what you say, you begin to do. I'm going to say that again. What we think about, we see. And what we see becomes what we say. And what we say eventually becomes the behavior that we express. So ladies, if I am emotionally not connected to my husband, I'm disconnected from my husband because I can't get past the fact that he cheated on me. I'm emotionally bruised. I am emotionally wounded. I am emotionally disconnected from my husband because the last conversation that we had, he argued and fussed and yelled at me and it ended up being horrible. I'm emotionally wounded. If I'm wounded by something, if I'm hurt by something, if I am offended by something, it will literally cut me off from him. I know that some of you all, if you think about it, you are not as excited or interested. Many of you, your interest is completely gone from being intimate with your husband, period. You don't even have an interest any longer of being with your husband. You love him, but you're not interested in being with him. And many times what happens is it frustrates your husband because he doesn't understand why. Second of all, because he's frustrated. Now he's trying to figure out what can I do to get this woman just to have sex with me. Number three, when he's trying to figure out what am I going to do, then he shuts down and starts talking to you about it, period. And then fourth of all, sometimes if we're not careful, because we're so shut down emotionally, another woman has an easy access in. I'm sharing this with you because I have had the experience over the last week and a half of talking to at least 5 different women who have all said the same thing. I'm emotionally not connected to my husband. I don't feel anything emotionally. You cannot be intimate with your husband if you are not emotionally connected. It shuts down your body's ability to even lubricate itself to be ready to be intimate or in a sexual relationship with your husband. Ever been in a situation where your mind is gone and you guys are right there in the midst of it and you are completely dry and you can't get yourself to even feel it? It's painful. You don't like it. You want him to hurry up. You want him to go ahead and be the mister and do his business. Being Miss Seeley. How do you know when your emotions are shut down, you don't have the connection that you need? Emotionally, you have to be connected with your husband. You cannot interact with your husband in the way you should if your emotions are out of whack. So if I'm upset with my husband, I have to check myself, resolve it so that my emotions can now begin to align back. Again, as I said before, what I think about, the thoughts that go through my mind, I'm going to eventually begin to see it. And what I see, I'm going to begin to speak. And what I speak, I'm going to begin to act and do. So if I'm thinking negatively about my husband, then I'm going to see him in a negative way. If I see him in a negative way, I'm going to speak negatively about him. And if I speak negatively, guess what? All of my body is going to line up and start acting negatively. It's going to be turned off. My body gets turned off when my emotions are out of whack. So ladies, it's important that we check our emotions on a daily basis. Check yourself on a daily basis as it relates to your husbands. I know that some of us, we are going through menopausal stages. Yes, we go through premenstrual syndrome or PMS. But some of us take that and drive it for miles down the road when we should have shut the car off and gotten out a long time ago. I'm bringing this to your attention because, ladies, your emotions being out of whack drives your relationship with your husbands. It makes it difficult, absolutely 100% difficult for you to interact or be connected to your husband the way you want to or the way you should be with him. I'm telling you this because, and listen, ladies, we as women have to be so aware of where we are emotionally. And many of us are, but many of us have decided to ignore it and sweep it under the rug as if our husbands will be okay after a while. I'm going to tell you something. After not being intimate with you for a month, that's an issue. A week, they can go by. 2 weeks, they might be able to be okay. It's turning the corner for 3, 4 months, 2 months, 3 months. It's going down the road. There's going to be an issue. And you have to be honest with yourself and say, you know what? I'm emotionally disconnected. Where is the root of this thing? Where did it start? What has disconnected me that I'm no longer connected to my husband? Because you can't expect yourself to want to do things with your husband if you're not connected emotionally. We are emotional beings, yes, and they do have a responsibility to talk to us a certain way, to speak to us in a certain way, to handle us in a certain way. But at the same time, you got to communicate how you want to be handled. So if he's handling you in a way that's not the way you want to be handled, then you say to him, honey, the way you just did that didn't feel good. I didn't like that. That was uncomfortable. Because what we often do is we put our emotions over to the side and act as if they're not real. They are real. And the way you feel is important to express. So, help. My emotions are out of whack. Yes, they're out of whack. And I need to bring them back intact. So it's your responsibility to be a protector of your emotions, a protector of your emotional state, your emotional being, your emotional place. Where am I today? When you wake up in the morning, especially the ladies who are in menopausal stage or who are perimenopausal, you wake up in the morning and you feel yourself kind of out here in this place that you shouldn't be. You got to pull yourself back in and begin to talk to yourself and say, listen, this is going to be a fantastic, super day. I'm not going to be emotionally on an upheaval. If you find that you are crying and in an emotional state all the time, crying and weeping, you don't know where this crying is coming from, there's an underlying current somewhere there that you need to deal with. Ladies, I want you to be real clear on what I'm saying today. It is important, absolutely 100% important, that you get a hold of your emotional state. Get a hold of where you are emotionally. It drives the temperature of your home. It drives the temperature of your bedroom. It drives the temperature of how you relate to your children. It drives everything about you. Your emotions take you to places that some of you don't want to be right now. So let's take some time to look at where we are emotionally and make it our practice to guard and to put a protector around our emotional being, our emotional state. As I said before, if your emotions are out of whack, surely having sex or being in an intimate relationship with your husband is not going to happen. He's frustrated, and you know why. Because you are not connected to him emotionally. Forgiveness has to be in place when he's done something that is not what you wanted. Otherwise, you disconnect yourself emotionally. Whatever he does, you got to come to a place of saying, you know what? I've got to learn to forgive. I got to learn to walk in forgiveness. And some of you may say, but he keeps doing it over and over and over and over. But when do you stop forgiving? You just stop? Do you just throw in the towel? Is your marriage not worth it? These are just questions I want you to think about. Ladies, I'm coming back. I'm going to be doing I'm going to be doing my mini series coming back up really soon. As a matter of fact, I'm going to start it probably either tomorrow or Thursday. I do want you to be on here. I do want you to come on because we're going to talk about some secrets that I found in Delilah's story and the story of Samson and Delilah that I think are going to be critical to you. But when you find yourself and your emotions out of whack, it is very important that you are honest with yourself, that you face yourself, that you talk to yourself, that you pull yourself back in. Because if you're emotionally out of whack, you cannot connect with your husband. So there lies why you can crawl into bed and turn over, and he wants to be intimate, and you push his hand away, or you tell him you have a headache. Headaches are the number one excuse when we're emotionally disconnected because we don't know what else to say. Because we don't know how to explain where we are. And so I've been there. I've been there, ladies. Been there where emotionally I'm just not there. Just disconnected. Mind somewhere else. And when my mind is somewhere else, guess what? Everything about me is somewhere else. So we have to work on guarding our emotional state, our emotional being, our emotions. Keeping my emotions guarded. I guard my emotions so that my emotions don't drive me, but I drive my emotions. Does that make sense? I hope you all are getting something today. I wanted to come on because I had 5 different ladies in just less than a week that I've talked to who have said the same exact thing. Emotionally, I'm not there. And so when our emotions are not in place, our emotions are out of whack, it draws us out to places that we don't want to be. So I want you to grab hold to your emotions today. I want you to make a concerted effort. I want you to make an intentional effort to be mindful of where you are emotionally. If you feel yourself getting ready to go into a place you shouldn't be going, then you need to take some steps back. Find you a little quiet place. Go sit down with yourself. Talk to yourself. Speak to yourself. And pull yourself back in. We have that ability. Okay? You guys, I'm coming back. I'm going to be talking about 6 secrets that I found that are hidden in the story of Samson and Delilah. And one of the things that I want to talk about, I'm going to talk about in that whole little 6-session series. I'm going to do 6 different nights of coming on live, talking about what I found out in Samson and Delilah's story. But one of the things that I found out about Delilah is Delilah made Samson feel safe. I wonder how many of your husbands absolutely feel safe. She helped him feel safe by allowing him to lay his head in her lap. We're going to talk about it. I got some good stuff for you. I promise you. You don't want to admit it. You want to tell your friends to join the group. Get online because I'm going to be putting it in there. It's going to be 6 different nights. I'm going to give you different nuggets that I found in her story, in this story about Samson and Delilah. We look at her as a negative, but there's some positive things about that woman. She understood how to get the power and to get the strength of Samson. But we're going to use it in a positive way because I believe there's great value as women in order to conquer our husband's heart. We have to learn how to talk to them, how to speak to them, and how to make them feel safe. I'm excited about sharing that with you. I hope what I talked about today in terms of your emotions being out of whack, that have kind of helped you get some perspective on where you are. Wow, maybe my emotions are out of whack. I do need to check myself. Maybe I do. You have to think about wanting to be with your husband in order to be with your husband. Your husband is thinking about you all day long. We have to get our mind to shift. So it can't be about the bills. My mind is about how much my bills are going to cost and oh my God, we don't have the money. Guess what? You can't connect with your husband sexually. If you're concerned about, oh my God, what's going on with everybody else and everybody else's stuff, guess what? You can't connect. At some point, you got to lay that stuff down. Bring your emotions under subjection with yourself. Lay that stuff down so that your body can respond appropriately and in response and in rightfully towards your husband. He loves you, and I know you love him. Because if you didn't love him, you wouldn't be there. Come on, ladies. It's going to be great. Come on back to the group. I've been away for a little bit. I've been pondering. I've been thinking. I've been studying. I've been allowing some things to come to me that I need to share with you. I'm excited about what I've been getting and what I'm grabbing. And we're going to take some more things that we're going to do this 6 weeks of mini sessions every night for about 15 and 20 minutes. Tell your friends. Tell them to be online. I'm going to get on probably Thursday night at about 7 o'clock. No. I'm sorry. I'm going to get on Thursday night at 9 o'clock. That's another call I've got to do. I'm going to get on Thursday night at 9 o'clock and I'm going to share one nugget that I found out in the hidden secrets of hidden secrets in Delilah's fantasy that Samson in Samson Delilah's story that are hidden in that secret in that story. I'm going to share it with you. I'm excited about it. You don't want to miss it. Please tell your friends. I hope I helped you today. I'm excited about you. I care about you. I wouldn't come on if I didn't care, but I care about each and every one of you. And I hope that I've said something that'll help you. Give me a shout out. Hit me up. Give me some messages. Let me know if you're getting something from what I've said today, and if I can help you further. Feel free to contact me at any time. Message me. Send me a message. I'm out here. I'm here to help. I want to be here for you. Love you, ladies. We'll talk to you real soon. God bless.